If I told you to go on Google and type in the big three, would you know what would come up? Statistically speaking, the answer is most likely yes. When it comes to anime, a term most people would have heard across their entire anime journey, the most would probably be the big three. Whether or not you understand what that term means, you've undoubtedly heard it before. The big three is a term used to describe the anime, Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. The term came along more than 15 years ago, and it was used to directly reference the three most popular anime at the time, Bleach, One Piece, and Naruto. Any anime fan who spent any macrocosm of time in this community will be able to tell you what that means. And no matter what your preference towards the big three is, whether or not you're a diehard Bleach fan who thinks Bleach is the biggest of the three, a diehard One Piece fan who thinks One Piece is the best, and a diehard Naruto fan who thinks Naruto is, nobody can deny the monumental success and cultural significance of these three shows. For many, if not all anime, these three shows are considered the staple, the thing that they should aim to achieve the popularity of, and all three of them are different in almost every single aspect, especially in the way in which they all have very different premises. Naruto is a show about ninjas, One Piece is a show about pirates, and Bleach is about being a Grim Reaper in the most dumbed down sense of the words. However, despite their extreme differences, there remains one constant among these three hallmark shows that defined what anime is as a concept. The Chosen One trope. The Chosen One has been a trope since the beginning of media in general. The idea that the protagonist, the main character, the lead character, is special in some way exclusive to them, naturally giving them an edge in many different aspects of the story. Shinji from Evangelion, Tetsuwan Atom from Astro Boy, Eren from Attack on Titan, Deku from My Hero Academia, the list honestly goes on endlessly. As I said earlier, it's a trope as old as media itself. Even the story of Heracles is an example of a chosen one type story. If we take a deeper look into the big three themselves, we see that all of these shows are just replications of that very same trope, done with a slightly different shade of paint. They're all chosen ones. Naruto was born son of one of the greatest shinobi ever born, and as the reincarnation of the son of God. Literal ninja Jesus. On top of that, he also was given the strongest tailed beast in the world, implanted into him at birth. So, of course, naturally, when he mastered the tailed beast and mastered all of his other external abilities, he would end up becoming as strong as he eventually would, topping the verse almost effortlessly by the time he wasn't even 16. Bleach had Ichigo be born as a super special magic hybrid of every power type in their world. He's half Shinigami, half Quincy, granting him naturally massive reserves of spiritual power and innate talent for mastering spiritual combat techniques. Later in the series, he would add his Hollow and Arrancar powers and only achieve even more monumental power until he was essentially the strongest person in the verse, bar maybe the main villain. Luffy was born son of the most wanted criminal in history, Monkey D. Dragon, grandson of the Navy war hero Monkey D. Garp, and is the reincarnation of the world's most influential individual, Joy Boy. That's not even taking into account the fact that he ate the rarest and most dangerous fruit in the world according to the world government, the Gum Gum fruit, also known as the Hito Hito no Mi, modeled directly after a literal sun god, and was born of the rarest form of Haki, Conqueror's Haki, which is literal fucking spiritual pressure. Am I saying that any of these people never worked for their own strength? No, of course I'm not. Ichigo had to work to conquer his own fears and strengths and grow as a person so he could fight harder battles for the people in his life. And Naruto and Luffy underwent 3 and 2 years of pure training arcs with incredibly powerful people in their verse. Hell, Naruto has gone through more training in his first 30 episodes of original Naruto alone than Boruto did in his non-canon follow-up series. These people worked for their strength, yes, but none of them would have ever been as strong as they are without those special traits assigned to them at birth. Naruto ended up becoming the top of his verse less than halfway through his war arc, and as Hokage, he was so strong they literally had to nerf him in Boruto because he would unironically one-shot villains in Boruto and provide 0 stakes because he was always present there. Like, there are actual power scalers scaling Naruto to be able to take on several of the former Kage at once by himself without even using his Kurama chakra, because he's purely that strong. He needs several people that are all top of the verse to even attempt to challenge him. Luffy has become so strong at this point that people are debating whether or not he has Toon Force. He doesn't. The same thing that Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, the Mask have, they're debating whether or not Luffy has it because he's purely that strong. He's so strong in fact, the creator literally has to write him stupid so he doesn't end every fight in the first blow. For reference, this nigga literally grabbed lightning and began to bounce off like it was a trampoline. Lightning. He then used his enemy, who at this point was the strongest person that we've ever seen in the series, as a jump rope. What in the fuck? And Ichigo, after the end of this series time skip, is happily married man who has literally so little problems, he is actively trying to find some. Seriously, he settled down with Orihime, attained the strongest power in the verse, and is still looking for people to fight. What the fuck? This comment I'm about to read is from a Redditor, which applies to just Ichigo, but the general idea can also be applicated to the entire Big Three. He said, and I quote, "By building off his innate privilege to levels of growth other people could not ever hope to achieve by just doing their own hard work." And that's my problem with the Big Three. Am I disputing everything incredible these anime have done? No, never. Watching Naruto show up to fight Pain never fails to give me goosebumps. I'm finna show it to my kids. Watching Luffy go Gear 5 and hearing the drums of liberation as he laughs and remarks about how funny his heartbeat sound will never not give me goosebumps. Once again, I'm finna show it to my kids. I'll be real, but I ain't that big of a Bleach fan, but watching Ichigo do his first Bankai never fails to give me goosebumps. But my problem is, everything the majority of them do, they wouldn't be able to do if they weren't naturally gifted. And before you say, oh, a series where a character isn't special in some way doesn't exist, I simply point you to the so-called grandfather of modern anime, Dragon Ball. I'm gonna just say this now, I didn't realize Goku wasn't special. In fact, I was actively, while writing the script, trying to look for ways where I could disprove myself and find out that he's special. Because in my mind, I'm thinking Goku, low-class Saiyan warrior. So what makes him so strong? What makes him so special? And at the end of the day, I realized he isn't special in any way. In fact, in terms of his kind, he's one of the weakest people. But what did he do in spite of this? He trained. He trained as much as he physically could. He trained till he was physically sick, and then he kept going, because he realized that he needed to get stronger. He wasn't special. He was just flat out determined. And before you come at me saying, oh, that's not fair, all Saiyans have quote-unquote infinite potential, I can point you out to the billions of other Saiyans that died at Frieza's hands, who were at Goku's age. Goku turned Super Saiyan around 24. There were several Saiyans, way older than that, who were much, much weaker than him. So, what are we going to talk about them for? Just simply compare his son, Gohan, to Goku. Gohan, on the other hand, was born special. He was so strong, he would have been considered an elite in the Saiyans' eyes. He effortlessly almost one-tapped a Saiyan warrior who was in the army with the Prince of the Saiyans with a headbutt when he was 4. He transformed into the legendary Super Saiyan form, the grand hailed form that was considered a myth in Super Saiyan culture, at age 12. And then achieved a level higher than that at Super Saiyan 2, the first person to ever achieve Super Saiyan 2, less than 20 days later if we factor in time chamber time dilation. Even if we take into account time chamber time and apply it to his actual age, he went Super Saiyan at age 12, then Super Saiyan 2 less than a year later, only 8 months. Compare that to Goku, who went Super Saiyan, just regular Super Saiyan, at double Gohan's age. Goku was 24 when he first went Super Saiyan. Then, we see him use Super Saiyan 2 about 10 years later in his fight against Majin Vegeta. I'm not even going to talk about Goten, as he went Super Saiyan at age 7 and became irrelevant after that. So, B-move. Okay, here's the conclusion. Are the Big Three all the most influential modern-day series in the world? Without a doubt. Are the characters and themes at play some that will be talked about for decades to come? Once again, without a doubt. But when it comes to tropes, does that change anything? No. Because at the end of the day, Naruto, Luffy, Ichigo, they were all meant to become the one in their verse. They were all meant to be special. Not because of the circumstances of their life, but because of the circumstances of their birth. I love the Big Three to death, man, and I think all 3 shows are fantastic pieces of entertainment and modern media, but I wish we got to see more variation in the character tropes, and that I wish all of them were naturally picked. Chosen, if you would. I wish we could see more Goku types, more Ippo types from Hajime Ippo, people who worked for every string of their strength. No special by providing that. Because I feel like it would have made so many moments punch so much harder. It's absolutely awe-striking watching Naruto, Luffy, and Ichigo fight. It's brilliant. Because we've seen these people go from novices in their power rankings to the top of the verse. We've watched and grown with them. But I do feel like we would have connected a lot more with the characters if they weren't meant to get that strong. If out of pure sheer force of will, they ended up getting that strong. Just via their life decisions. This video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to wrap it up with a moment from Dragon Ball that comes to mind. It's during the break in the Goku vs Beerus fight, and it's a moment that, in my opinion, personified Goku almost perfectly.
What's the matter? You seem disappointed.
Honestly, yeah.
Why? Don't you like being a deity?
It's not the power, it's what it took to get it and what that means.
I don't think I follow you.
It's a level of strength I can't reach on my own.
And that limit disturbs you.
Goku and Beerus are talking about the Super Saiyan God power Goku had just received via the help of his friends, and they were talking about how much power it gave him and how he was actually managing to stand on an evil playing field with Beerus. And while Goku was grateful he was able to defend Earth using this power, in his mind it still felt wrong to him. When Beerus inquired forth about it, he was a god now. Why didn't he feel angry over the way he attained his power? Goku simply replied because it felt like he didn't earn the power. It had been given to him. Goku was happy he could defend his planet, his home, his family. Every atom in his body was still angry. Angry that he couldn't achieve that power without his own thorough training. It's a moment that encapsulates everything I love about Dragon Ball. Is Dragon Ball a perfect show? By no means, no. I think Naruto, Luffy, and Ichigo are better characters than Goku, because they've just been written better. But at the same time, I feel happy knowing that no matter how far Goku stoops, he'll never want to use anything other than the own power he worked for, because he doesn't feel like he's earned it. And that's my problem with the big three. Can they all really call it their power when it never really was theirs to begin with? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.